Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play BS The Legend of Zelda. In the last part, we started off week 3 and now, you probably know the format by now, we're gonna go through Dungeon 6 and finish the week off. And this might just be my favorite dungeon in concept. Not so much execution, because first off, those familiar with the original location that was here in A Link to the Past know that it was the second dungeon, the Desert Palace. And that there was 2 sections to that dungeon. The first one, which was when you first entered, and a higher section, which was more or less a linear path that you got to after exiting the first section, obviously. This shortens the first section, but elongates the second, rather. Essentially, we have 3 entrances: center, left, and middle. And you can choose whichever one you want, and you can get to the end of the dungeon through that. However, for the sake of completionism, I'm showing off all 3. After a certain point, I'll be cutting back to the entrances and going into the middle one, then the right one after I finish the left one here. Though all 3 of the paths actually unite at the same place. Also, I hate that puzzle right there. It's not so much a puzzle as it is a timing thing. But I had so much trouble with that my first playthrough because something that I've always been a bit iffy on in the Link to the Past's engine is how long the bombs last. It feels like their fuse is just a bit too short sometimes. And the thing is about this dungeon is that if you just go from start to finish, only picking one path, you miss out on some things, yes, but you could potentially have one of the shortest dungeons in the 4-week game that there is. That was tense in structure, I swear. Either way, this is where the routes unite. So now what I'm going to do is use the ocarina to warp out and then meet you in the center passageway. Why am I going left to center? It's just the most convenient for items. The only path I could recommend you don't go down at all out of the 3 is the left one, because you really don't get anything out of it. If you go down the middle one, we're going to get one thing, and if you go down the right, you get more things than that. So the most recommendable, if you're trying to just go through without doing everything, go through the right passageway. And there's the compass. That's the only reason you really come to the left passageway, but... no, the center passageway. But now we have that, we can continue on. I do like, though, how, for the most part, obviously, jellyfish there notwithstanding, some of the dungeons still have the enemies that were in their original tile set location in Link to the Past. Like, here we have those weird blue, yellow tentacle things. Oh, and hey, look, it's over 9,000. Oh, and also, as you can no doubt hear, I was an idiot last part. Last part I stated that I don't recall them ever playing the first dungeon theme from A Link to the Past. I am horribly wrong, once you know, because the next dungeon up, boom, it's there. I wouldn't be surprised if because first off, I just tend to blank out when I'm recording because I'm actually trying to focus on what I'm actually playing, not so much listening to what's going on. And I wouldn't be surprised with the way they did it is that if the dungeon was a Light World dungeon in A Link to the Past, they gave it the Sanctuary dungeon theme. And I absolutely love this piece. I think I stated that a lot in A Link to the Past, but I love it. Such a damn beautiful track. Doesn't even sound like it would be a dungeon theme. Maybe more of an eerie town theme. At least in my ears. And honestly, that rupee room's the only real other reason you come down the center path, because now we're back at the unification room. Never mind, that's the next room. Now we're back. So, if you haven't guessed the pattern, now I'm gonna ocarina out of here and meet you in the right entrance. And here we are. As I stated, the right one is the only one you really should enter if you're going for 100%, because this place has the most items out of the 3. What do I mean by that? Let's put it like this. More rupees and a possible upgrade thief. There's also this, similarly to the, I think, Dungeon 4? One of the ones from week 2. we have to use the bomb and the conveyor belt in tandem to hit that switch. Although I believe this one, if you're very careful with it, you can actually hit it with the boomerang. But I'm not entirely sure about that. Oh, and this is the thing. The current timed event is that now, no matter what heart level you have, you'll have your sword beams. Not too useful in A Link to the Past, because the sword beams are actually kind of weak in this one. By the way, hi, Upgrade Thief. But it's nice all the same. Also, I probably should have mentioned this sometime earlier, because I'm pretty sure we had the 25th minute while we were on here. No, actually, no, that was when we were rescuing the priest last part. At this point, around the 25th minute, I actually recommend, if you want any potions, go to the magic shop, because they're half off until sometime in the mid-30s. And the Upgrade Thief and those rupees are the only reason you come over down to the right path, because from now on, it's all the same path no matter what. Oh god, Wizrobes. They actually showed up last part, but they weren't of any note, really. Because Wizrobes in A Link to the Past, especially with the ones they use in Ancient Stone Tablets, they're pathetic. They used to be the worst enemy in the game back in Zelda 1, and even a bit of Zelda 2 if you didn't have the Reflect spell. But here, they're just kind of pathetic. They also start using a lot more of the pressure-sensitive switches around here. Which, cool, I guess. They never really were used too much in Zelda 1. In A Link to the Past, aside from 2 instances off the top of my head, which are the Ice Palace pain in the ass without the Cane of Samaria, and the... I think the Dark East Palace, or whatever that thing was called. Mind you, like I said before, I haven't played the original Link to the Past since I did the LP of it, which was around a year ago now, so my memory being fuzzy is understandable. I like the 3-path concept they tried to do here, but honestly, they make it so that there's only real benefits to going down one path. Oh, and hey, the red clothes, so now we, I think, take a 4th damage than we took before. Like, say, for what I mean about the 3 paths is, say they all had a good amount of rewards in them, but you can only choose one in the game no matter what. I'd be fine with that. As long as they weren't, like, 2 big alternative rewards, like you missing out on an upgrade permanently in something. Like, maybe different amounts of rupees, like, say if it was Minish Cap, like, 1 you got rupees, 1 you got a lot of kinstone pieces, 1 you got a lot of mysterious shells. I'd be fine with that. But since here, they only really make going down the right one worth it due to the Upgrade Thief, I don't end up liking it too much in this instance. That's why I mean I like it in concept, not so much in execution. Also, I know I made fun of Link's hair in A Link to the Past, but the youth in this is not much better because his hair is green, which is even more anime than Link's pink-ish purple color. A Link to the Past is a very odd game, but we love it. Oh, and yeah, now it's over 10,000. It is honestly really weird seeing 5 digits in a Zelda game. I can't exactly place my finger on why, because maybe just because I expect it to not be such a currency-based thing as it is an experience-based thing, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't matter how much money you have, as long as you're good at what you're doing, you should be doing fine. Or, like, conserving, I don't know, I'm bad at speaking. But here we get the Fire Rod, which is absurdly useful. And that, basically, now the lantern is useless. Because now we can hit things from fire from afar. That, and it just is better, because I think it even does more damage. By that, I mean, I think it does damage, period. I like it. I like it a lot. But it's boss time, and those who played A Link to the Past probably can guess who's here. It's Mothula, or Mothra, or whatever your name is. Just attack it with the Fire Rod. Goes down in 3 hits. It's ridiculous. But with that, we now have the 15th heart container and the 6th ancient stone tablet. Why does the floor stop moving when the boss dies? And with that, as usual, now it's just time to get the rest of the collectibles. And as is becoming somewhat of a pattern for this playthrough, there's only 2 more heart pieces to get in this week, and they're all in fairly close proximity. First off, we want to go down here and use the fire rod to light these up, hence this is why you didn't go down here earlier. And in this chest is piece of heart number 7 for week 3. And that just leaves the shovel one. Yay? Though actually, this is one of the better shovel ones because I think they're all generally located around Link's house. Like, one's right next to it. Also, now the sword in here is level 4. There's one, I think, towards the lake, and one towards where the Swamp Palace was in the Dark World. And I got the one right next to Link's house. And after digging around for a bit, obviously, because the X is a bit deceptive on where it goes, because it's a bit hard to be precise on a map like that. After digging around a bit, piece of heart number 8 for week 3. And with that, now I need to wait around a bit until I think the 44th minute. Because now, the mole will spawn. For me, he was just next to Lake Hylia. He can also show up on the cliff to the left of the desert complex, like when you leave the first section of the desert, he's there. East of Dungeon 5 where he is here, at the Haunted Grove where the Ocarina Boy is, Link's house, or south of the Eastern Palace near Lake Hylia. And no matter what, his hint is actually very close by to this location, which is why I'm actually glad I got this one. He's in the very northeast of this little plains area. Which is nice and handy. And I think it's a running theme for the rest of the mole huts, but you do need the hookshot in order to get to all the chests. And it's really good to do that because now you're going to start getting a lot of 300s, which is just ridiculous. What can I do with all of this money? If this was a Link Between Worlds, I can understand having something like this because then you can make the Ravio stuff a lot less tedious to grind for or get money for. Mind you, there's already a lot of money in Link Between Worlds. But say this was like Ocarina of Time. What would you need that much money for? Aside from possibly trying the fishing game over and over again because you're just really rage quitting a lot and getting that Hylian, what was it, bass? The 20-pounder that everyone hates for good reason because it really does suck. Though apparently, one thing I learned recently is that you can actually go for the one in the future first and then go to the one in the past. You'll actually still get the golden scale. That's handy. And time for this week's mini game, which is probably my least favorite, actually, because it's so hard to time. Basically, if you hit the Octoroks in the back, you get varying amounts of money. It's hard, and I suck at timing the bow in this game. I don't like it. You can get, I think, the same kind of money you could get out of the first minigame out of it, though. And with that, all I really have left to do is just explore something. Like, I want to show off one particular scene up at the Haunted Meadow. Hello, Ocarina Boy. It seems that playing the flute puts him in a trance. No. But yeah, due to the fact that he actually was kind of alive at the end of A Link to the Past, he's actually around here and not trapped as a tree. Cool. But it's good to see that, we actually did help in the original game. And with that, all that's left for me now is to just wait around for the time to end, because I've done everything I need to do. Oh, welcome back. Are you injured? You've gathered all the items that you've collected for today. You should take it easy for now, and I shall. I found the Book of Mothula, so it was there in the basement. But I can't read what it says. Oh, youth, you've returned. Ah, perfect. We need to hurry into Hyrule Castle and see Princess Zelda. Okay. I really wish this did go a bit faster, but I can understand why they have it the speed they do. Princess, this here is the Book of Mothula. Look at that. The writing on these stone tablets is in the language used in Hyrule in ancient times. It says there is a sealed power buried on the mountain known as the Silver Arrows. What would ancient Hylian be? English? It says the mountain. Does it mean Death Mountain? I shall accompany the priest and the youth there at once. I doubt you'd be able to survive up there, honestly, Agina. You're, kind of pathetic. This is the church. It's getting late, so please spend the night here. And I do believe that is the end of BS Zelda Ancient Stone Tablets Week 3, and indeed it is. As usual, the same way to migrate your SRAM file. So let's see how we did on this week for score. I do wonder, actually, if it's been learned since, like, this game got fully translated and done by the BS Zelda team, if what some of the prizes for the score contests and such has been revealed, because that's a very interesting topic to learn about. And I'm doing pretty well. In fact, that's actually higher than my score was at the end of my first playthrough of all four weeks. But with that, I'm going to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 7, we're starting off the final week, ladies and gentlemen. See you guys then.